Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video, we are back with another episode of It. Welcome to Derry. They decided to drop 2 episodes the same week because of Halloween. I think the first one dropped the 26th or something, and this one dropped the 31st on Halloween, of course. And you guys can go watch my pilot review. I have like a playlist and all that stuff set up already. But going into episode 2, I was really just looking for some answers, or at least some validation as to why this prequel even exist. I think my main critique from the first episode was that, why the hell are we here right now? And I'm still waiting on that, by the way. Like, I definitely wanted, like, maybe Pennywise to finally show up to kickstart the series. Now, normally, I don't think it would need that. I don't think the main protagonist in an origin story would have to show up until later. But based on how the pilot went, I think it'd be beneficial if Pennywise would actually be here. But I also get it. Like, they're clearly building the suspense and the anticipation. It's a good marketing tactic. It's working to a point, but at the same time, I'm still kind of skeptical on this show 2 episodes in, because we are a quarter of the way through the first season, and I know this is probably going to be a multi-season show, but still. After a sluggish plot, I was hoping this episode would pick things up a bit and really convince me this series deserves to exist, and honestly, I still don't know what to think. We'll get into the nitty-gritty, but I'm still not sure if this really picked anything up for me, so let's just get into the premise, the good, the bad, the okay, give it a review, and maybe even just give it a rating, just so we can compare the episodes. So getting into the premise, I guess kind of what happens, I think a lot of this episode centers on the military subplot, which is fine, particularly around Hanlon and the investigation into the aftermath of the theater incident. I guess that's why the military was called originally. I know Derry has some weird things going on. That's like kind of the whole personality of this stupid ass town. It's like, oh my god, there's weird shit. People are seeing blood in their fucking shower drains and stuff. Whatever. Ronnie starts losing her grip mentally, which a lot of the characters are, and I do kind of like that overwhelming theme, which kind of mirrors, again, what's happening to the rest of the kids, which the only kid that's really left is Lily. There's a reveal about the general being behind the plague mask prank, which I actually thought was interesting. I don't even know what the fuck that is still. That is still a whole debacle. Plus, it's nice seeing James Remar from Dexter in here, so I guess he's gonna get more shine, maybe. I don't know. The new military characters are introduced, and while I'm still confused why this story is leaning so hard into that angle, it's at least getting some structure now. Like, we at least have some purpose as to why the military is here. We also see a new family move into town, which brings some racial tension and outsider themes into the story, which is whatever, though it's handled a bit heavy-handed for me. Again, we will get into all of that in a second. This is just kind of saying what happened. The show expands on Matt's disappearance through the fallout of the theater incident, but the sewers, Pennywise, and that classic It dread still aren't really there yet. It doesn't really feel all the way like an It prequel. It feels like its own thing, which is fine, I guess. They're setting things up slowly, but I'm not sure if I care enough yet to stay locked in. Like, we will watch this whole show, I think, no doubt, but let's just get into it. So starting off with the things I liked, the good. Again, the military stuff is great here. I think it actually worked to an extent on its own and like isolated and like no context. It felt kind of weird at first, but now it's kind of turning into this solid mystery or thriller plotline, not even necessarily a horror one. Like, it could be completely separate from the story and it's fine. I like the new family dynamic too, and the culture shock of moving into Derry. It's something fresh, even if the messaging feels kind of forced and feels kind of weird and political, and maybe we can get into that in a second. There are downfalls to that. Taylor Page's character adds some depth, and while the bullied kid trope is tired, it's handled decently here with Michael, the other kid. I also think they really stepped up the gore and some of the horror scenes and the visuals just overall. I do think that is an improvement from the pilot. It's definitely messed up to make horror out of pregnancy, but we have seen so many of them. It's not new for the genre, and at least it's shot well. Again, I'm not gonna like support this. It's very weird, like biting umbilical cords and having this nasty shit go on, but if you have to bow out for that, I understand, but I do think it tends to be on the softer side of horror anyways, so like that's kind of the most extreme you're gonna get, and it doesn't even touch some of the shit I've watched, so it's fine. The claustrophobic store scene with Lily seeing her dad in the pickle jar was kind of corny, kind of cheesy, but in a fun way. It reminded me of that goofy, over-the-top It energy from the older days, so I guess it pays homage in that way. The tone is festive, a bit spooky, and occasionally self-aware, and I think the show needed that to break up the monotony of the first episode. Again, visually, the episode is clean. I can't complain about that at all. It nails that 1960s setting again with the costumes, glasses, the soundtrack. It is incredible, and I think they're going to continue to do that. I think that's going to continue to be a strong suit for this show throughout the series. It actually feels like the era, even though I wasn't a part of it, I can kind of feel that, and I think that's the beauty of this. I think that's the beauty of, again, shows like Stranger Things, which you're going to often see me compare this to. I always give points for that. That's always a lot of fun. Again, the soundtrack, especially the tracks they used in this episode, are very fun, nostalgic. It helps give the series a little personality it was missing before. before, it's really fun to see some of the backing tracks as you like transition into other scenes in the show. That's kind of all for the good. These videos are going to be short, by the way, like 8-9 minute videos. It's not that I don't care about this, it's that I don't have as much to say right now because we're kind of just getting the developing storylines, you know. And so getting into the bad, as much as I liked the military stuff, there are downfalls. Again, a unique thing I'm gonna try with these reviews is that there's good and bad to a lot of things in the military stuff. I think it's way overused. I think the amount of military stuff and the fact that it is the main focus is a bad thing. The content is good. The show is leaning into it way too hard, leaving no space for Matt Clements to even show up. Matt Clements didn't even show his face. There wasn't a flashback, there wasn't a vision, nothing. And the biggest issue is there's still no Pennywise, not even a shadow, not a whisper, nothing. Like, he's not even present. This does not feel like an It series because of that. And again, I don't know if you guys can see down there, I have a Pennywise Funko Pop down there. That is the most presents you are going to get as of now in this prequel series of Pennywise. I know they're playing the long game again, waiting it out. We know that there's 3 seasons. I think they did announce that. But we're already 2 episodes deep. You have to hook people in by at least having them show up so we can keep coming back. And as a television show critic, I'm obviously going to come back because that's kind of what I'm doing. The writing, there's also some lazy tropes here, kind of slipping away with the writing. Now that Teddy and the other kids are gone, the show's new angle is basically everyone in Derry is insane, or at least these 2 girls that were involved with this were insane. They're reusing that idea way too soon, like, oh, this girl was in an insane asylum and now she was like connected to this whole thing. Did she do it? Like, that's ridiculous. Especially with Lily getting locked up in an asylum over a fucking hallucination, over some fucking pickle jars falling down. Panic attacks can fucking happen without being insane, without being clinically insane. Like, are we dumb here? Come on. The new family feels unnecessary right now too. Again, I like the content, but the placement of it isn't great. I think the new family could have been an angle we could have explored later on. Michael is fine, but the rest of that subplot just feels like filler commentary that could have waited for a future season. I guess the dad's in the military, but you get me. The scares are still predictable. They're still going to be flawed here. Better shot than before, but same setup every time. Silence for 5 seconds, boom, jump scare. The demon baby, still a dumb inclusion, I think. The humor is offbeat in the wrong way. The tone sometimes feels like a parody of itself. It's got problems for sure, I will say that. Getting into the okay, the mystery isn't completely dead. It's just buried under too much extra fluff. And I think the mystery part of the episode is okay because although there's not a lot of it, I think what they did show was acceptable and it's enough to keep you kind of intrigued. The connection between the kidnapper's car and the military investigation at the end is a decent tie-in. At the same time, it's not good enough to make me care super deeply. Like, it definitely has me intrigued. It definitely has me wanting more and wanting to watch more. I don't know what to think, man. This show is very weird to me. The pacing's improved a bit, but the storytelling still drags again. The tone feels outdated. It's watchable, but I do think overall this episode is still meh. I'll get into the rating, I'll get into the review in a second, but overall I am still very mixed on what they're doing with this prequel series. I'm, again, intrigued enough to see where this goes, mostly out of curiosity, but if the next episode doesn't really tie the threads together in a better way and make it interesting, at least give us some Pennywise content, this might lose me, and for the sake of the review, for the sake of you guys watching my channel, I'm just gonna have to fucking drag my way through the rest of the episode, because I think these first 3 episodes are really gonna give us a vibe, give us a tone, set the tone for what this series is gonna be like, and if I don't like it, I don't fucking like it. I don't know. Getting into the review, we're not going to do a tier list. I'm just going to give it a rating. We don't really need to do tier lists. That's too much. This is no doubt better than the pilot. I will say this is for sure better, but still nowhere it needs to be. It's just not there. It's just not getting there for me. It's still solid, but man, this could be so much better. They could be handling this so much better. The atmosphere and the tone are solid, and I like that it's slowly finding its voice, but this show needs to start delivering answers. It does get to a point where you have to get fucking going. We got to move fast here. The mystery is lukewarm, the characters are spread too thin, and the overuse of side plots is keeping the real horror in the shadows. It's getting there, but barely. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I know I didn't really talk about that for a while. That's like a 6.5, a 6.6 out of 10. Spoilers for you guys that didn't watch the first review, by the way. I gave that a 6.3. So yes, this is an improvement, but it's not a whole tier above. I still think it runs into the same problems. Now there's more memorable scenes. I will give this that. Most definitely more memorable scenes. I just can't really get behind it yet. Again, we need Pennywise. We at least need Matt Clements to make an appearance in next episode, and I hope that the episode that comes out, I believe this Friday, I'll pull up the episode schedule right here. I hope they deliver. I hope they deliver on something. I don't really know. We need that shock moment. every show has that moment that reels you in and is like, okay, this is a badass show. And we haven't got that here. So with that being said, I am out, guys. Let me know if you guys like the 4 Eyes GZTV. As always, giving you guys TV show reviews. Any new TV show that I get intrigued with, I'm gonna cover it on the channel. Leave recommendations in the comments of other stuff, because I've gotten comments about Tiny Cinema. We will be watching that. I know I need to kind of get out of the spooky vibes a little bit, but that'll be the last one for the month, and then we can return to some more Marvel stuff. So peace out.